and gentlemen, it's time for the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. Now, here's John Truman Wolfe.
Hello, everybody. John Truman Wolfe here with the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. Welcome. Gorgeous day here in the mountains north of Los Angeles. Sun is shining. The snow has stopped. Almost all melted from the ground, and it's gorgeous. We'll start today with, as we do every week, with the statistics, the financial statistics, key financial statistics in the country. The Dow up 199 to 32,619. Been kind of treading water there at that level the last couple of days. As I said last week, and I repeat, I don't think there's any question, at least for the time being, that the Dow is going to continue up. 35,000, 40,000, not at all out of the question, not at all. The S&P 3907 plus 20, and the NASDAQ 12,997 plus 15. So the equities all up, modestly but up. Gold 17, if I'm going to read my own writing here, 1728 minus $7, and silver 25.22. Silver's been hanging there in the $25-26 an ounce range. Gold struggled to get back up to the 1700s, and we're going to talk about gold versus cryptos a little bit later in the show. But just hanging there, 1728. The cryptocurrencies have been down for the last 24 hours. Pretty big hit to the king of crypto, Bitcoin, 52,183, down from Bitcoin's been trading at least in the mid 50s. It's gotten up into the higher 50s. It's as if it takes a run at 60,000. It did cross 60,000 a week or 10 days ago, something like that. Got up to almost 62,000. But in the last several days, it's been trading in the mid 50s, seeming to take a run at 60,000, and it kind of bounces off that. It's like it doesn't have the guts, the willpower, the chutzpah, the power to get up there. And so it hits, it's fallen back, 52,183, off 3.5% for the last 24 hours. That's how they quote the trading there. Ethereum, big hit, because it broke below 1,600. So those folks holding Ether are a little uncomfortable, I would guess. 1,591 off of 1.6%. So Ether's down, and below 1,600 is a big deal. Ripple, 51 cents, off a little bit, but still holding above a half a buck. And the one crypto that has been strong throughout this is Filecoin. And we're going to talk about Filecoin when we come back, because I think it's it provides a terrific service. Filecoin at 90 cents, up 3.4%. So stay with us, folks. We'll be back, talk about this strong crypto and what's down the road here. I'm John Truman Wolfe. This is the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. Stay with us.
When you invest, what do you need? Investors need foresight and prediction so they can invest with confidence. Is the stock market going up and down? What about precious metals or Bitcoin? The stock market may be treading water right now, but now may be a more opportune time to invest in precious metals. Are gold and silver booming? What do you buy? Bullion? Mining stocks? Which ones? The cryptocurrency market is also advancing strongly, but which ones do you buy? John Truman Wolfe, former banker and #1 best-selling author, gives you the answers in his widely read newsletter, Strategic Financial Intelligence, available at strategicfinancialintelligence.com. Wolfe called the breakout of the gold market and the breakout of the silver market. He may not have a crystal ball, but his investment picks tell a story. Metals and digital currencies are on the move. Don't miss out. Go to strategicfinancialintelligence.com and get the Strategic Financial Intelligence newsletter today. strategicfinancialintelligence.com.
We are back. I'm John Truman Wolfe, and you are listening to the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. Thanks for being with us. Before we broke there, I was just wrapping up a report on the cryptos, which have generally been down. Bitcoin down to 52. Ethereum, when it is broken below 1,600. This is a big deal for people that watch such things. You can look at the graphs, and breaking below 1,600 for Ethereum is a big deal. Not good. A big deal on the negative side, unfortunately. So you Ether holders, hang tough. I don't think that's any kind of definitive long-term downtrend, but it is what it is. And before we broke, I mentioned, there are probably a few cryptos up. Most of them down today, as I said, but one altcoin is called Filecoin, and I like this one. This one has had a really good run over the last several weeks, up from price in the teens to trading today at 90 cents. A little over 90 cents, up 3.4% for the last 24 hours. And this is a service, this coin represents a service which I like, which is storage, of your whatever, your digital memos, your information, what have you. It's a storage facility. And I'm not a fan of iCloud. I'm sorry. Amazon's holding on to my information while they're negotiating with the CIA for contracts. Sorry, it's not my cup of tea. This digital storage facility called Filecoin, it's no wonder that the price of that crypto has gone up really, really well. Filecoin. Okay. A quote I just noticed from key people in China on cryptos. I've made this point before. I'll make it again. This is a quote from, what's this guy's name? Yuan Zhao, who is the project lead for digital trade at the World Economic Forum. His comment: the use of cash is decreasing. Eventually, cash will be replaced by something in digital format. That is one of the big drivers behind this. No question about it, folks. I've said it before, say it again. Digital currencies are coming. They're coming to your bank account. I was just looking at this other comment in that article, which makes the point that we've made before, that China is leading this movement. They are seeking to become the strongest currency on the planet. They fight the dollar all the time. So far, they're not the leading currency, but they want to be. And going digital is their way to do that. They've got digital currency operating in 4 states. People being paid in digital currency, people buying things in digital currency, and where's the United States? Well, maybe a year ago or so, comments by the chairman of the Fed, Jerome Powell, about kind of trashing Bitcoin, trashing cryptos or digital currencies. Last week he testified before Congress, and he's going, well, okay, good. Well, if we're going to develop a digital currency, we'll come to Congress and we'll talk about it. The Fed has a project going with MIT on looking into the feasibility of digital currency. Digital currency is coming. And I keep saying, and I repeat again, go buy some. Go stick your toe in that water so you have some familiarity with the trading of digital currencies, cryptos. Again, for those not familiar with the subject, the underlying decentralized cryptocurrencies are Bitcoin, Ethereum. It's the Wild West of investing. Decentralized means there's no bank or government running these things. These are currencies, digital currencies that are trading among people, and market pressures move them up and down. Centralized digital currencies, CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, do have control behind them. So when the U.S. Fed is talking about digital currencies, that's a centralized digital currency. But anyway, the point is that instead of trashing digital currencies, he's going, well, okay, good. Well, if we develop one, we'll come to Congress and talk about it. That's a very different position than what he had. There are still some key international bankers that are pushing back against cryptos and digital currencies. This is nothing other than hot air. It's political theater. Janet Yellen has made some derogatory comments. This woman ought to be put in a rest home. And her counterpart in Europe, Christine Lagarde, the French communist who is now running the European Central Bank, while she has made positive comments on cryptos when she was in charge of the IMF, Christine Lagarde was the executive director, the general manager of the International Monetary Fund until about a year ago, and she went from that post to now she's the president of the European Central Bank, overseeing the banks in the European Union, a post of comparable power. And she made some trashy comments about Bitcoin or cryptos. And those comments are being made basically because the bankers have been bypassed by cryptos, right? The world is now trading cryptocurrencies. There's over $1 trillion invested in cryptos, and the banks, kind of trash it using this old, people money launder with cryptos, or drug money's in cryptos. Well, if you had criminals, the truth of the matter is they don't use crypto. I mean, I'm sure there are some, but they prefer to use cash, greenbacks, Ben Franklin's. But this comment last week from the World Economic Forum, from this guy that's running the digital currency explosion, and we could call it a test in China. He basically says the truth. Cash is going to be gone. It will be gone. The time will come when, you'll have a Ben Franklin or an Andrew Jackson or something like that, and it'll be a collector's item, not used for exchange. Okay, folks, I'm John Truman Wolfe. We'll be right back with the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour after these messages. Stay with us.
For the getaway of your dreams, come to Hawaii's Playground. Kaanapali Beach Resort on the fun side of Maui, where the world comes to play. Find your spot on Kaanapali Beach with 3 miles of white sand, 12 resort properties, 2 golf courses, and 2 shopping centers. Enjoy the playground of Hawaii's ancient royalty. Ganapali Beach Resort is Hawaii's original master planned destination resort and home of the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival. With views of 2 neighboring islands, you can breathe in the land's natural beauty from your favorite resort or golf fairway. Come experience Kaanapali's own special brand of Hawaiian hospitality with world-class dining, relaxing resorts, water sports, and activities of every kind. For romantic, family, and great friend getaways, discover the options of Kaanapali Beach Resort, where the world comes to play. Plan your getaway today. Visit kaanapaliresort.com. That's Kaanapali resort.com.
The smartest way for you to get the lowest prices on your plane tickets, domestic or international, is to call SmartFares first or last, but you've got to call us before you book your plane tickets. Fly anywhere in the world, fly anywhere in the U.S., and SmartFares can save you up to 75% on your plane tickets. We have the lowest airline ticket prices on over 500 airlines, and you've got a great 12-hour free cancellation window. Plus, with our live agent help, you can always get fast help and fast answers. So on your next trip, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, how about right now? Pick up your phone and call SmartFares, plus save up to 75% on your plane reservation. So call right now. 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. You've got to remember to do your testing, and you always need to be sticking your fingers. The new way to live your life with diabetes is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body, and it continuously monitors your glucose levels, helping you spend more time in range and freeing you from painful finger pricks. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day, or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call U.S. Medical Supply today for a free benefits check. We offer free shipping, 90-day supplies, and we bill Medicare or your insurance directly. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-633-1378. 800-633-1378. 800-633-1378. That's 800-633-1378.
Welcome back, folks. John Truman Wolfe here with the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour, broadcasting to you from the Los Padres National Forest. Beautiful day here in the mountains north of L.A. Hope it's delightful where you are. I picked up an article that talked about a head-to-head argument, I think yesterday in Congress, between Janet Yellen, now the Secretary of the Treasury, former Fed chair, as you probably remember, and Senator Kennedy. And Janet is seeking to push hundreds of millions of dollars to the IMF. And Senator Kennedy's problem with that was that most of the money that U.S. taxpayers will be sending to the IMF will wind up with in countries like Iran, China, etc. And she's pleading for the money for poor, undeveloped countries. And among other things, Senator Kennedy's point is very, very little of that money will be going there. The prior administration, the Trump administration, had not been in favor of sending this money to the IMF. And that's changed, as has everything with this administration. Everything Trump did is being reversed. It really, it's almost as that it doesn't matter whether it was good, bad, or indifferent. If Trump did it, Biden wants to get rid of it. And this is one of those things. The IMF, the International Monetary Fund, formed towards the end of the Second World War at the Bretton Woods Conference, was originally designed to kind of keep a balance between international currencies. It has, over the last 50, 60 years, become a global predator. By that I mean the International Monetary Fund spends its time, attention, and its money. The product of the International Monetary Fund and its sister, the World Bank, is indebted nations. That's its product. That's what it creates. Debt for nations, indebted nations. And some of these poor third world countries, go begging on their knees to the IMF for loans, which they're never able to pay back. And in many cases, the IMF just writes off. But what happens is that when the IMF makes a loan to whomever, whether it's a third world country or not, the loan agreements that get signed give basically control of the country to a very large degree to the IMF if they choose to exercise it. They insert clauses having to do with the education of girls and, quote, family planning, agricultural policy, tax policy. The IMF is a global predator. And Janet Yellen is trying to, and I think will accomplish it because the Democrats love the IMF because it gives money to the poor countries, and Republicans, some Republicans have resisted, and the figure was somewhere around $500 million. I don't have the number right off the top of my head. It was hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. So that goes to the IMF. Then the IMF lends the money in terms of its own currency. The currency at the IMF is called special drawing rights. It's just a name that they came up with. It's referred to, the IMF's currency is referred to as the SDR, which stands for special drawing rights. There's a fascinating memo I found when I was writing the book, The Coming Financial Crisis, whereby this was a confidential memo written by the CIA that actually created the SDRs, the special drawing rights of the IMF. It's a whole other story, but I took a picture of it. I think there's a picture of that in the book, The Coming Financial Crisis. At any rate, if you've got anything to say to your legislators, your representatives, or your senators, I would oppose sending more money to the IMF. They send it wherever without control of without you or I controlling where it's going to go. I think it's a huge waste of money. And the IMF has got more sinister plans, which we'll talk about when we come back. I'm John Truman Wolfe. This is the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. We'll be back and talk more about the IMF right after these messages. Do stay with us.
You order a glass of your favorite Cabernet, fresh asparagus, hollandaise on the side, a filet, medium rare. You unfurl your napkin with a flair, close your eyes, and prepare to listen. Ah, there it is. The sweet music you long to hear. The sizzle. The sizzle of a Ruth's Chris steak.
The most magnificent corn-fed prime beef, broiled to perfection at 1800 degrees. Some call it a sizzle. We call it an anthem.
As the waiter approaches, you think, is this one mine or that one?
Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Like Ruth always said, life's too short to eat anywhere else.
Make a reservation online at RootsChris.com or by calling 800-544-0808.
When you really want Italian food, you have got to get to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. It's that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Well, buckaroos and buckarees, Columbo's has seen to it that you can enjoy and luxuriate in all the splendor that is Columbo's and in the comfort of your own home. Yes, just call 323-254-9138 and say you are commissioning them to prepare the finest steaks, the freshest fish offerings, Columbo's family Italian specialties, including the world's greatest meatballs with the greatest of dispatch. Then motor on over to Columbo's for your gustatorial treasures. In these times of trials and turmoil, it's the least you can do to bring about some joy and yum-yum to your loved ones. Yes, Columbo's, of course. That little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Columbo's.
Mangia bene.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet, so make a free call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book, a masterpiece that could someday make the bestseller list in hard copy and digitally all across the world. Page Publishing can help you completely take your idea for a book, write it, and publish it. So if you want to join the ranks of some of the most famous authors in the world, call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. That's 800-378-3212.
When you invest, what do you need? Investors need foresight and prediction so they can invest with confidence. Is the stock market going up and down? What about precious metals or Bitcoin? The stock market may be treading water right now, but now may be a more opportune time to invest in precious metals. Are gold and silver booming? What do you buy? Bullion? Mining stocks? Which ones? The cryptocurrency market is also advancing strongly, but which ones do you buy? John Truman Wolfe, former banker and #1 best-selling author, gives you the answers in his widely read newsletter, Strategic Financial Intelligence, available at strategicfinancialintelligence.com. Wolfe called the breakout of the gold market and the breakout of the silver market. He may not have a crystal ball, but his investment picks tell a story. Metals and digital currencies are on the move. Don't miss out. Go to strategicfinancialintelligence.com and get the Strategic Financial Intelligence newsletter today. strategicfinancialintelligence.com.
All right, folks, we're back. John Truman Wolfe here with the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour, and we're talking about the International Monetary Fund. And here's the plan, folks. This is just slowly edging forward, but this is the plan. This is the grand design. The conversion of cash to digital currencies, which is happening around the world. Slowly central banks are implementing digital currencies, replacing cash with digits. And as we talked about a little bit ago, China's kind of leading the industrial nations doing that. The U.S. is talking about it. And there's if you subscribe to Strategic Financial Intelligence, my newsletter, strategicfinancialintelligence.com, I write about exactly how this is occurring. At any rate, the game here is to convert all of the major banks on the planet from cash to digital currencies. So now people are used to digital currencies. Then the IMF saving people meaning countries with loans due to financial crises which will develop and are developing as we speak, will gradiently take over the issuance of digital currencies. This is my idea of what's coming. And there will then be a global international digital currency. There will not be, and I'm not talking about tomorrow because this is up the road a ways, but this is the plan. There will not be national currencies. There won't be a dollar or a yen or a yuan or a franc or a pound or what have you. There will be, if they keep the name, the SDR, the International Monetary Fund's special drawing rights, their currency, and the International Monetary Fund will then control all the currency on the planet. I know it sounds very conspiratorial, but that's what's coming. If you watch it, it's slowly evolving, and the digital currency revolution not so slowly evolving. And the IMF will then be able to control currencies on a planetary basis. This is what's happening. The things that we talk about on the show and that I write about, China, there's one issue a couple of months ago we wrote detailing what each of the major central banks on the planet were doing in terms of implementing digital currencies. 80% of the central banks on the planet are either testing or piloting, or in some cases implementing digital currencies. So this is coming, folks. So what do you do about it? Well, one thing you do about it, and there's been interesting PR attacking gold recently, going, well, you don't really need gold as a reserve asset anymore. Just do crypto, do Bitcoin. Bitcoin is digital gold. Bitcoin has got all these plus points. Well, cryptocurrencies do have plus points. And I would encourage you, if you're an investor, to by all means have some of your reserve assets in cryptos. No question. But I've read a couple articles recently seeking to say, okay, gold has had its run. It's all over. Don't bother owning gold. And that is foolish in the extreme. You should definitely own precious metals, gold and silver. And for those of you that listen or read my stuff, I'm a much bigger fan of silver than gold. But either one is good. The simple answer is you accumulate both. You have cryptos and you have precious metals. Precious metals, look, cryptos have been on the face of the planet since Satoshi put Bitcoin out there in I think it's January 2009. Gold as money has been around 5,000 years. So that's not going away. Sorry, it's not going away. As digital, as technological as the planet is and is becoming, gold will always be relied on as the ultimate store of value. So the answer is to do both. You don't do one or the other. And these guys that are now pushing, just in the last week, I've read a couple articles where, talking heads, well, you don't need gold anymore. It's had its run and it's been down, and it has. Gold has been off for, I don't know, some months. Trading from its high when it hit 2,000 several months ago, down, to the 19s and to the 18s. Is now trading in the 1700s. So, but I don't approach the investment in precious metals from a short-term basis or a few months. It's a long-term look. You have to look at it strategically and invest strategically for the future. And you should definitely have precious metals. And it's actually a good buying opportunity. Buy some, hang on to it. Just build up your stash of precious metals. gold bullion, silver bullion. I'm a big fan of silver eagles, and they have been in short supply, by the way. Such a demand for silver eagles that the government has been slow in delivering, as I understand. At any rate, it's not a question of one or the other. It's a question of both. Buy your gold, buy your eagles, buy silver eagles, gold eagles, and buy your crypto. We'll come back and talk about what cryptos you should buy, and what the country's finances look like going forward when we come back. I'm John Truman Wolfe. This is the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour, and we'll be right back.
Now it's time for MedVed's Entertainment Minute.
Gary Oldman may be competing for another Oscar nomination as the legendary Hollywood screenwriter Herman J. Mankiewicz in David Fincher's expertly crafted evocation of the making of Citizen Kane in 1941. The new film on Netflix is called Mank, now nominated for 10 Academy Awards, including Best Picture.
You cannot capture a man's entire life in 2 hours. All you can hope is to leave the impression of one.
Rendered in ravishingly beautiful black and white, this long and utterly compelling film offers marvelous performances. Its drawbacks involve a meandering interlude involving a famous gubernatorial campaign in California in 1934, and a limp ending that tells you nothing about the reception or historic impact of the great film that all these characters are battling to create. It's rated R and runs well over 2 hours. 3 stars for the fascinating, occasionally frustrating Mank.
Attention real estate investors. Do you need cash immediately? If you own one or multiple rental properties, you can use your equity to get cash out fast. The best part is we don't need tax returns or even a good credit score. At America's Loan Source, we are not a bank and we don't have bank rules. We make the decisions to loan you money, and there's no limit how much we can give you. Some clients have gotten as much as $500,000 or more within days. Use the money any way you want. If you own one rental property or 100 and COVID has left you in a cash crunch, we can help you turn your equity into fast cash. Call now for details and close in as little as 10 days and get the cash you need. 800-353-1760. 800-353-1760. 800-353-1760. That's 800-353-1760.
All right, folks, we're back. John Truman Wolfe with the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. In terms of investing in cryptos, if you're very new to that, I don't think you get hurt with buying Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are the two, the 1 and 2. You number 1 and 2 in terms of size, in terms of market cap. You can't really go wrong there. The predictions for Bitcoin pricing, some of them are really wild. With Bitcoin at 52,000 as we speak, many of the prognosticators are calling for at least 100,000 Bitcoin at 100,000 by the end of the year. I agree. I think it's very realistic. If I were to bet, that would be my call: 100,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year. Ethereum, I think, although it's got some challenges, I think Ethereum will hit $5,000. So I don't think you go wrong that way with those two. Then if you start getting into the other altcoins, you kind of got to understand, what they're doing. Some of the hot ones, Polkadot, Chainlink, Stellar, EOS, and as I mentioned, Filecoin, which I like a lot. And I also bought some Tron just because I like the way the graph looks. But listen, we've got challenging times ahead of us. The Fed is debasing the dollar in ways that is historically bad, meaning they are gushing money into the economy. And sooner or later, that will result in inflation. It will debase the dollar. The Chinese sit and look at us and laugh at how foolishly we control the dollar, the petrodollar. The demand that oil be paid for in dollars is slowly ebbing away, which gave the U.S. dollar its strength. There still is a petrodollar, but it's not as strong as it once was. There's an article written by my friend Simon Black. I call him my friend. I don't know him. He's my friend because he's sane. He's so sane financially, and he is, among other things, a huge advocate of having a second passport, and that's something we should do a show on, actually. But he wrote an article recently and talked about, where things are financially. He says, look at the U.S. stock market prior to the pandemic. The Dow Jones Industrial Average reached a record high of just over 29,000 points. Today, the market's a little more than 10% higher, and yet, so the point, of course, is that the Dow stocks, equities continue to go up and up and up, and yet, he says, corporate earnings are down. The average earnings per share in the S&P 500 is 30.4% lower than prior to the pandemic. So earnings are down 30%. Corporate revenue is also down. Corporate debt is substantially higher. So income is off, borrowing is up. Corporations are living on bank money, which is living on the Fed gushing out of nowhere. You all know this, I presume, out of nowhere. I mean, the Fed just creates this stuff out of nowhere and is gushing trillions and trillions of dollars into the economy. The U.S. economy, he says, is measured by GDP, is weaker, so that our production is weaker, and that drives inflation. Inflation is the amount of money in circulation in relation to products and services that money is available to buy. So the more money, there's nothing the matter with more money if the production to meet that money is there. In other words, there should be enough money to buy what there is to buy. But if you've got lots of money and not products and services to purchase, you get inflation, and the products and services of this country are measured by the gross domestic product. The U.S. economy is measured by GDP, is weaker. Consumer spending is still lower than before the pandemic. Unemployment is higher. So he's going through all of these points that while the Fed is continuing to gush trillions into the economy is weak and weaker. Government debt, he says, is hilariously out of control, and the new ruling party has announced that they want to raise taxes. What a surprise! What a surprise that is. The Democrats want to tax you, penalize you for producing. All right, we're going to come back and talk about what the future looks like and what you should be doing financially when we come back after the break. I'm John Truman Wolfe. This is the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour, and we'll be back after these messages and talk about what you should do with your money. Stay with us.
Let's talk about your credit cards. When you first start using them, it's a slow drip. You make charges, then more charges, then bills come, and they keep coming. When you open your statements, the floodgates come pouring in. You realize you have more credit card debt than you can afford, and you're barely making the minimum payments. Wouldn't it be nice to make one affordable payment and have all your credit card bills covered? Make this free call and learn our responsible way to get your credit card bills paid and under control.
Sponsored by Consumer Education Services, a nonprofit organization.
800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. 800-876-3643. That's 800-876-3643.
CESI is not a loan company. The establishment of a debt management plan may adversely affect your credit rating. Non-payment of debt may lead creditors to increase finance and other charges to undertake collection activity, including liquidation.
It's totally normal to be constipated with belly pain, straining, and bloating again and again.
No way. You could have a chronic condition called irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives to help relieve belly pain and let you have more frequent and complete bowel movements. Individual results may vary. Do not give to children less than 6, and it should not be given to children 6 to less than 18. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor today. You may be able to save on Linzess and make fewer trips to the pharmacy. See if you're eligible to pay as little as $30 for 90 days. Visit linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by AbbVie and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
For the getaway of your dreams, come to Hawaii's Playground, Kaanapali Beach Resort, on the fun side of Maui, where the world comes to play. Find your spot on Ganapali Beach with 3 miles of white sand, 12 resort properties, 2 golf courses, and 2 shopping centers. Enjoy the playground of Hawaii's ancient royalty. Ganapali Beach Resort is Hawaii's original master planned destination resort and home of the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival. With views of 2 neighboring islands, you can breathe in the land's natural beauty from your favorite resort or golf fairway. Come experience Kaanapali's own special brand of Hawaiian hospitality with world-class dining, relaxing resorts, water sports, and activities of every kind. For romantic, family, and great friend getaways, discover the options of Kaanapali Beach Resort, where the world comes to play. Plan your getaway today. Visit KaanapaliResort.com. That's KAANAPALI Resort.com.
All right, folks, we're back. John Truman Wolfe here for the final segment, John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. At any rate, I was running down some of the anomalies of the Fed printing trillions, and the Fed printing drives up the stock market. It drives up real estate because home mortgages go down, people buy. And it's all driven by the Fed printing this funny money. So inflation is coming. So I'll go back to what I was talking about before, which is, what do you do? Number one, if you want to stay up with what's happening with digital currencies, precious metals, etc., subscribe to Strategic Financial Intelligence. Sorry for the commercial, but I got to tell you, it's worth it. It's $99 for the year, $2 a week, and you'll get intelligence that'll help you stay in front of this very rapidly changing world. StrategicFinancialIntelligence.com. 2, buy precious metals. I hate to sound like a broken record, but if you don't have precious metals, buy some. If you have some, add to your stock, your holdings. A bit at a time. You don't have to go out and buy a whole big chunk right now. Just maybe every month you buy, X amount of your asset or your reserves. 3, get involved in some precious metals. There are, I just said precious metals. I meant in some cryptocurrencies. If you don't have an account, go to one of the exchanges, which could be Coinbase or CEX.io. I had an account at Bittrex, but the customer service there has really been bad. I mean, really bad. So I'm not recommending them anymore. So CEX.io, Coinbase, there are all kinds of exchanges, Gemini. So open an account and stick your toe in the water. And if you want to put more than your toe in the water, go ahead and do that. Long term, strategically, cryptocurrencies are going to be a good buy. Third, if you want an alternative, get into some Reits, real estate investment trusts. Put that into Mr. Google or whoever you use for your search, and check out real estate investment trusts. These are companies that buy into a particular industry. They're like agricultural REITs that buy up farmlands. There are storage REITs that own a bunch of storage companies across the country. There's all kinds of REITs. They specialize in different things. And what you're doing is you are investing in the expertise of the management that is in an industry that you may like. REITs are mandated to pay 90% of their profits to their shareholders. I'm a big fan of agricultural REITs. You can do a little research there and find some good ag REITs. So precious metals, cryptocurrencies, agricultural REITs, and you'll be well set. All right, folks. I'm John Truman Wolfe, and this is the John Truman Wolfe Financial Hour. We're with you every week at this time, 4 p.m. Pacific, not Standard Time, Daylight Time. And we'll see you here next week, 4 o'clock. Stay with us and grab a subscription if you don't have one of strategicfinancialintelligence.com. strategicfinancialintelligence.com. You can get the newsletter there. $99 a year, $2 a week. It's a good buy. All right. See you next week. Have a good weekend.